recording going. So thank you all for joining us. We're excited to have you join us for this session to learn a little bit more about DMEA, and Kristen will share a little bit more about the Defense Microelectronics Activities group and all the amazing work that they're doing. Particularly, we're going to be diving into the SBIR STTR program and the pre-release of some of the topics to be focused on. And so for those of you that I don't know or haven't had the pleasure of meeting yet, my name is Cameron Law. I serve as the Executive Director of the Carlson Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, and we serve as a regional hub and platform providing approachable and accessible entrepreneurial education, community, and support to enable startup founders of all backgrounds to start and scale. And we're excited to bring this session to you to help you access and be aligned for some of these SBIR, STTR offerings. And before I pass over to Kristen, just wanted to recognize another partner we have here. We have Benjamin Cadronell, who heads up Advocacy Chiefs, who partners with us on a number of these efforts as well. So we're going to be in good hands today. And with it, I'll turn it over to you, Kristen, and thanks for partnering on this session. So we will keep an eye out on the chat if you have any specific questions, and I'll be clicking us through the slides.
Okay, thanks so much, Cameron and Benjamin, for putting this together and hosting the Defense Microelectronics Activity. Going forward, I'm just going to call us DMEA. We're in the federal government. We use a lot of acronyms, but we sound out all of our acronyms. So going forward, we are DMEA. And then, as Cameron mentioned, we're here to cover DMEA's Small Business Innovation Research and Small Business Technology Transfer Program. And so again, acronyms, right? Acronym city. So I'm just going to call it the SBIR program. That's how us DoD folk refer to it. I've heard of some other agencies calling it the SBIR, the STTR, or they'll just say SBIR, STTR. But for DMEA and DoD purposes, SBIR. Anyway, with all that mouthful thrown out, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Kristen Ingebretson. I am in the DME Small Business Office. I'm what's known as their Office of Small Business Programs, or OSBP. There's another acronym, but I'm not going to use it any other time but now. I'm the component director for DMEA. All of the DoD's components have somebody that has the same position as me. For DMEA, we're so tiny that in the small business office, it's just me. And then Tien Dang is on the line. He is our DMEA SBIR program manager. And he's going to cover the slides, I think around slide 13, all the technical stuff. So full disclosure, I am not technical in the microelectronics space. I am very technical in the small business space. So if you have any questions about federal government contracting as a small business, I'm your person. All right, next slide, please. All right, so quick overview of DMEA. What are we? A lot of people don't know about us. We are super unique. We are a DoD laboratory that's located in Sacramento, California. We're over on the backside of McClellan Park, so the old McClellan Air Force Base. We operate under the Assistant Secretary of Defense for Acquisition and Sustainment. We're composed of highly specialized microelectronics engineers, ME. You'll see that throughout if you're not familiar with that acronym, and support staff. So that's me, Tien, and actually Tien used to be one of those highly specialized microelectronics engineers, but he's come over to the dark side and he's now our SBIR PM. So we work in partnership with major defense contractors and the semiconductor industry to rapidly develop advanced technology applications for the warfighter and solutions that support critical active military operations. DMEA, we have an advanced, this is really unique, an advanced laboratory facility and a flexible semiconductor foundry right there on site, right there on the backside of McClellan. You'll find both of those facilities there. We also, or those enable our professional team to provide trusted, high-mix, low-volume ME solutions. Our research activities advance microelectronics technologies to support current and future warfighters' needs. And there's the source there. I encourage you. Oh, actually, this is from our, we're finally on LinkedIn. We finally have social media. It's been forever, but you can, when you get the slides, if you get the slides, are they going to get the slides? That is a clickable LinkedIn icon there, or of course you can copy the link there and go check us out. Follow us on LinkedIn for upcoming news, latest and greatest. I know there's a post out there from our director where you can learn a little bit more about him. Next slide, please. All right, so DMEA solutions and services. If I didn't mention on the previous slide, we have an in-house team of engineers. So we're not contracting that piece out. Those in-house engineers custom develop and deliver leading edge technical solutions through microelectronics research, design, prototypes, and product support. Again, I think I kind of mentioned this the last slide. We address low volume, legacy or obsolete technologies, and develop custom technologies to satisfy warfighter operational and strategic needs. And again, I'm reading these bullets. I'm so sorry because I'm not that technical. I just have to do this to keep me on track. Okay, so we complement other DoD capabilities to deliver solutions to resolve technology gaps with our experienced staff of microelectronics engineers. And we also have, as I mentioned, the advanced equipment and facilities, and we are agile. So last bullet there, our staff are aligned to primarily support two business units, which are the organic engineering and radiation testing. So those are our main engineering divisions, and they support DoD and other U.S. government agencies. And we offer the technology offerings you'll see there, TDP, so technology data packages. I'll just let you read on down the list. The source here is our website. So there's a link there. And then the very last page, I did get fancy and provide a QR code for that. So you can grab it there. You can grab it at the end. All right, next slide. All right. Oh, that is the next slide. Oh, that's us. So this is TNME. We're in the Office of Small Business Programs, or in DMEA, they refer to us as the Small Business Office, the SBO. And what our mission is to lead the effort to maximize opportunities for small businesses in our acquisitions. So my big role, one of my big roles, is advocating for small businesses to help them learn how to do business with DMEA and help them successfully bid for and win contracts with DMEA. So that's a big part of my mission. I also recently, because the defense industrial base is losing new entrants or small businesses. So people in my position throughout the DoD have been tasked with adding new entrants. And so I go out, and so does TN. We do outreach, educate folks, provide them with our forecast, just so that we can add more new entrants to the DIB, the Defense Industrial Base. I advocate for small businesses that contribute to national security and economic power to our nation in the area of microelectronics, and related technologies, and maximize small business opportunities. It's all small business here. I'm just working for the small guys. Through innovation and advanced technology, ME solutions, and this is through our SBIR program. If you send me an email to that link there, it's one of those, catch-all emails for the Small Business Office. You can request our Small Business Program Guide. I mentioned the annual procurement forecast, which I'm still trying to get through public release, so I don't have it just yet. If you send me, if you're familiar with a capability statement, and if you're not, contact your local Apex Accelerator. They can help you. You send that to me. I'll shoot it out to all of DMEA's stakeholders and decision makers for their consideration, and then save it in our vendor's database. We can also meet virtually. Still not doing the in-person. It's just easier to meet virtually these days. Information about our small business opportunities, and then a list of our prime contractors. And there's the source for that too on that webpage. Next slide. All right, so let's get into SBIR, the basics of the program, and this is going to be for any agency, not only DoD, but there are several, and I can't name them off the top of my head, but if you go to SBA's website, SBIR.gov, You can see all the agencies that participate. They all have a different flavor. Of course, DMEA, we only do one thing, and that is microelectronics, right? So anything we put out, and we're going to go over topics, is going to be microelectronics based. All right, so for the programs, both SBIR and STTR are both highly competitive. They're awards based. Most of DoD, I think there might be a couple of us in DoD, they also put out grants. So you have to go and respond to the grants. And there are several other civilian agencies, we call them, that also do grants. National Science Foundation being one of them. I think the Health and Human Resources, or HHS, Health and Human Services does one as well, or does grants as well. So again, go to SBIR.gov if you're interested, and provide technologies that those other agencies might be interested in. Okay, so the SBIR program, it encourages domestic small business concerns, we call them SBCs in the program, to engage in federal research and development with the potential for commercialization. So we're going to give you money in these phases, and we'll talk about those in a minute, to hopefully get you to the final phase where you can commercialize your technology and either sell it to the DoD. For us, for DMEA, we like to keep it in-house because you're helping us solve a problem, provide us with a solution. But you may be able to commercialize in the private sector or sell to the federal or any other government, honestly. Let's see. We enable small businesses or SBCs to explore their technological potential and provide incentives to profit from its commercialization. And I just spoke to that. The STTR, the STTR program, slightly different in the sense that you need to collaborate with a nonprofit research institution, or RI, in phases 1 and phase 2. So that's the difference. And there are some other differences in the small business eligibility that I'll go over in a subsequent slide. Finally, I mentioned the SBA's website. They do coordinate with us. They actually they host the program, the SBIR program. And so they direct all the agencies with implementation of the programs, and we provide them progress reports, and they report to Congress annually. Next slide. All right, so small business concern SBC's eligibility requirements for SBIR. This is going to be the same for SBIR STTR, but I'll call out the differences. So for SBIR, we're going to start with that one. You have to be a U.S. for-profit business with 500 employees or less, and that includes any affiliates you have. However, that's not going to apply to phase 3, that commercialization phase. And there's some other caveats there, nuances there about funding, and I'll cover those later. You have to be that the small business has to be independently owned and operated. Their principal place of business needs to be in the United States. They need to be at least 51% owned by U.S. citizens or lawfully admitted permanent resident aliens. Their principal investigator, or what we refer to, and many in the research industry refer to as a PI, need to be employed by the proposing firm more than 50% of the time during the period of performance, or the POP, and provide 10% effort, 10% of the effort at a minimum. They also need to perform, this is the SBC, needs to perform a minimum of 66% of the research work in phase 1 and 50% in phase 2. The work must all be performed in the US. There's the source for that, and that's actually, you see that SBIR.gov link there at the bottom. You can go to their compliance guide and get all the details. Next slide. So STTR, you see there's a lot of similarities. I'll point out a difference. The small business performer, the small business concern, needs to perform 40% minimum of the work in phase 1 and phase 2. Remember, I think it was 66 in SBIR. And let's move down to the research institute. Remember, you have to work with an RI. There's no size limit for the RI. They can be a U.S. college or university, a nonprofit, or what we call an FFRDC, Federally Funded Research and Development Center. Google FFRDC and you can get a list of all of those, or reach out to me or Tian and we can provide that as well. Last little difference, the RI must perform 30% minimum of the work in phase 1 and phase 2. Next slide. All right, so SBIR program is separated into 3 different phases. Phase 1, it's basically a white paper, if you will, a feasibility study. So we're not looking for anything tangible in this one. The goal of it is to determine the scientific, technical, and commercial merit, and again, feasibility of a concept. And this is specific to DMEA. Every agency is going to have different contract award dollars and performance period of performance. For DMEA, for a phase 1, we award up to $200,000. The period of performance is 6 months. And that's both of those are for conventional, what we call conventional topics. And there's always been open topics, but DMEA has just started putting out 1 open topic a year. For open topics, cut all that in half. So 100K up to 100K, and then only a 3-month pop. So just quick and dirty. We want to get some good ideas from small businesses. For phase 2, this is where the small business is going to provide a working prototype. And the goal of it is to further develop what they've done in phase 1, obviously. Only phase 1 awardees may submit a proposal to phase 2s, and it's no later than 60 calendar days following that pop end, that period of performance end for the phase 1 contract. And you can see the number there jumps up significantly for our not to exceed award. 1.34 mil, and then 2 years on the period of performance, and that's both for SBIR and STTR, conventional and open topics. So that doesn't go cut in half there. It's the same for the open topic. Next slide, please. All right, so DMEA participates in a couple of other programs, phase 2 programs, if you will. Not all federal agencies participate in these, but I can only speak for DMEA. We participate in the top one there. It says direct to phase 2. It's a pilot program at the moment. They call it DP2. The goal of that is to attract firms with innovative solutions to participate in the SBIR program. When they've already done the phase 1, that feasibility part, they're going to have to prove it, and they have to show that they've done it without SBIR money. So it can't be a phase 1 SBIR. It has to be something that's been done outside of the SBIR program. They prove that they've completed that phase 1 milestone without using SBIR funds. The contract on that, or contract award on that, same as the regular phase 2, 1.34 mil with a 2-year pop. Sequential phase 2. This is just a follow-on to the initial phase 2 that I talked about on the previous slide. So basically, if the SBC performer needs some more time, they're getting to a really good point in developing their technology, but they just need to buy some more time to further enhance it, then they can request a sequential phase 2. And if it warrants a sequential phase 2, then we'll go ahead and award that. And again, you get another 1.34 mil to add on to that, and 2 more years to complete the sequential phase 2. Next slide. All right, phase 3. So this is really the whole purpose of the SBIR program, is to get to phase 3. That's to get to this commercialization phase. So hopefully, you submitted a good proposal in phase 1 and phase 2, and you get, the government, DMEA, DOD, another agency to procure your technology and commercialize it. Again, I think I mentioned this on a previous slide. SBIR dollars are not used for phase 3, so the money has to come from the private sector or other government sources, which could be like for DMEA. Say we have a phase 2 that we want to take to phase 3. We can provide the contracting funds, but it will not come out of our SBIR funds. But we can provide different dollars out of a different pot to further that technology and give us a final product. I think I kind of covered that. The beauty of the phase 3s, they're sole source contracts, which mean they can only go, and they will only go, to the SPC proposer that has sold the technology basically to the government. So you don't have to compete with anybody. Next slide. All right, so these are specific details to DMEA's SBIR program. Again, go to SBIR.gov and check out the other agencies. I think they all have put, we don't have one there yet, but they all have slide decks and even recordings on their different parameters for their programs. For DMEA, we are tiny, tiny, tiny. And so our approximate SBIR and STTR, we combined them here, are 5 million. We have much more in the SBIR budget than the STTR budget, but combined we're 5 million. Just to give you an idea, and I wish I looked this number up. Let's say the Air Force, for example, they're up in the hundreds of millions of dollars, huge program. So we're just teeny tiny, but lots of opportunities with different DoD agencies and other civilian agencies as well. Okay, for DMEA, and this is all budget based, right? We only get a certain amount. So we average about 2 to 4 phase 1s and phase 2s a year, and 1 to 2 phase 1 SBIRs per year, STTRs, I'm sorry, per year, STTR topics per year. We participate in 2 DoD, what we call annual broad agency announcements, BAAs. That's the same thing as a solicitation. So DMEA is participating in 2 of those a year. We're participating right now in that top one there, that release 2 for conventional topics, and TN will talk about the topics that are out in pre-release right now. So what DMEA is looking for, and our service partners, so we work with some service partners that are out in the DoD. So we're looking to develop topics in response to our needs that are challenging and advance the goals of the DoD. And our topics are prioritized with preference, and I did mention this, to topics that lead to manufacturing opportunities at DMEA. So of course we manufacture microelectronics, so that's what we're looking for. We do put out an open topic once a year. It is required now, as of a couple years ago, by the SBIR Extension Act of 2022. And it is more generalized. The topic will be more generalized, but it can also be specific. It can also be for specific technology areas to fill in capability gaps and adapt commercial products or solutions. So again, more broad. We put out 1 a year. And again, we prioritize those towards microelectronics manufacturing. Next slide. All right, so just quick and dirty proposal submission process. So you'll first need to, first go to DCIP, the Defense SBIR Innovation Portal, DCIP, there's the link, and just do some cruising around. Look to see if, and I'll speak to DMEA specifically, look to see that the topics we have out right now, you don't have to get an account yet, are something that's up your alley. If they are, go ahead, and you have to, so go ahead and register for a DCIP account. It doesn't cost you anything. When you do that, you can go in, look at our topics. If you have questions, and right now we're in pre-release, and Tian will talk about it again here soon. If you have questions, you can actually reach out directly to the topic author, or we refer to them also as the technical point of contact, or the TPOC. So you can ask them questions directly right now. You can email them, you can call them on the phone, and you can set up a virtual meeting over Teams. We use Teams in the DoD. Let's see. So I talked about the pre-release. When you get into the open period, you're going to have to use DCIP to ask questions. You're going to have to type them in to the DCIP topic Q&A, and they'll be answered there for everyone else to see. But all of your personal information will not be disclosed. So you're anonymous, but it does have to go out to all the other small businesses. Proposals must be submitted in DCIP no later than the end of the open period, and we cannot accept late proposals. It's just like a solicitation, right? You got the proposal end date. You got to submit it by that date, and we can't accept any time after that. Next slide. All right, so I'm going to turn it over to Tien. He's going to just briefly talk about, or maybe not even talk, you can maybe look at those. These are past topics, just to kind of give you an idea of what DMEA has put out over the last couple of years. And then he'll go into our recent, or our current rather, topic for pre-release, and some more information after that. So over to Tien.
All right, thank you, Kristen. Hi, everybody. I'm Tien Dang. I'm the SBIR and STTR program manager at DMEA. So I've been like 20 years in engineering area, and then the last 2 years I just jump over for the program manager for SBI and STTR program at DMEA. So like Kristen mentioned, we have several topics focused on microelectronics, advanced materials, and then you can see right there, it's also reverse analysis, reverse engineering analysis, like taking the circuit and taking the old circuit and reverse it to figure out what the circuit board should be. So indeed, like I can read through the first topic, like high voltage package encapsulation. So that's one, we need the new material to package for the packaging for the high circuit voltage. And then we also, right now, currently we focus, DoD or as well industry, focus on low cost, high power on the switches. So this is one of the switches like DMEA. I can talk to it directly, not so much detail, but this kind innovative device that only some certain area, certain countries have it. The USA haven't had that yet. So this topic at it's number 3. So that's what DMEA is doing it right now. It's in the phase 2 right now, and then it's been a year already. So we have 1 more year to go. Hopefully, we can have a good product out of this phase 2. And then you also have the ultra, voltage insulated gate bipolar transistor on a silicon carbide. So mainly, the project had to create the good gate oxide on the top of silicon carbide material. So hopefully we have the good isolated gate for the bipolar transistor. So you can see the overall, right, that we kind of like focus on electronics, microelectronics area. The last topic in here, application to assist analysis, reverse engineer for the circuit board. The idea is the old circuit board. Right now, the component netlist, we don't have anything else. It's just a circuit board. So the technology is start to reverse engineer the layers, the circuit board, and go to it the circuit traces, and then we probe it. We get the signal out. We use a different software and try to reverse those traces signals to the template circuit board, and from that we create a circuit board for the from the original. So anyway, for those topics, you can go ahead and then go to that website. It's in the slide. You can see the complete in the past topic of the DMEA. Next slide, please. So so this year, could you hold on for a second? Sorry, just sent the other phone call. So this year, the FY25, we have FY25D, topic number 1. The D stands for the STTR. As Kristen mentioned, STTR phase 1. This is a particular project that an SBC needs a contract with the university or the RI to submit the proposal. So for Sac State, for example, or this is one of the RI. So if an SBC can contract with you, or you can reach out an SBC that had the technical expert in this topic, which is the 3.3 and 5-volt configurable logic ASIC. The idea of this topic is, okay, so current technology, we have very low power, and the technology node is kind of small. So that's why it's required very small voltage, like 1.0 or even less than that. But the current, so the some oscillant parts, it doesn't have that low voltage any and capability. So we have to produce the 3.3 or 5 ASIC circuit board. So that's the main topic about. So I think it's very fit for the institution research to tap in their knowledge, their great matter. So to have fill the gap between the basic research and to the commercial product, or the use the parts in military. The second topic is the direct phase 2 topic. This is at Kristen mentioned. This one, the phase 1 or study feasibility study is already done, not with the SBIR or money. But when you submit this proposal for phase 2, you should have all the feasibility study for the phase 1 required. So the requirements for this phase 1 is already in the topic of solicitation. So this one is, I think it's just like the short line, it's, so yeah, the signal, the pulse. So the reason is it just refine the pulse signal to make a signal more cleaner with use recommended technology, which is still photomatic, nonlinear transmission. This one phase 2, as we mentioned, is award $1.34 million, and the phase 1 for the STTR we award up to $200,000. So the performance phase 1 again within 6 months, and the performance of phase 2 is within 24 months. So to go into topic details, solicitations, you can access to that link in the slide. Next slide, please. So there you go. That's the schedule, the timeline for this release. Like the SBIR, direct phase 2 25.4 and the STTR 25.d. It has the schedule right there. It's been released in November 6, and then from November 6 to December 4, those days the SPC or the schools, RIs personnel can contact directly to topic authors by email, by phone call, by meetings. However, they can go to the DCIP and then they can ask directly the question in there. However, at the time that it's had the open day, it's called the open topic. So that time, there's no longer direct communication between SBC or RI personnel with the T-box. So they have to go through the DCIP and put their question in there. So they should have the answer within 7 days in the DCIP. And however, in the DCIP, the question and answer will be exposed to whoever applied for the proposal. I can see those question and answer. It's just like we share the question and answer as well as the knowledge during the conversation with the DCIP. And then the important day is the close day, which is the day that the due for proposal submission, which is in January 8, 2025. Next slide, please. So we have November 6th instead of November 5th for the direct contact right there. So at this time, to let you know, directly communication the TPOS gonna record your questions and then as well as their answers. So just make sure they have this good answer and consistent answer to you as well as the other SBC if they ask the same matter or the same question. So that's way we keep it to be fair for the answer for everybody, not bias one SBC to another. So the direct contacts after that, December 4, we have direct contact with the topic author, or we can call TPOC. No more direct, just through the DCIP for the answer only. So, and then again, we have the deadline for the answer those questions is within 7 days. And then next slide, please. Okay, so this is what it look like on the DCIP for the topics and Q&A section. So you can select those filters there, and then it's gonna pop up the section for you, for the SBC to put in their questions, and for the TPOT or topic authors to put their answer in there. Next slide, please. So in when you submit proposal, so it has 7 parts. So it's kind of like, overwhelming at the moment. But if you just follow this instruction, it's gonna be no problem at all. Like volume 1, the proposal cover sheet. The number 2, that's the most important volume, which is a technical volume. That's your proposal going to be there. The content's going to be on that volume 2. Also, for each phase 1 and phase 2, or phase 2, it's going to have the requirement how many pages you should have in there. Like the DMEA, phase 1 will be limited up to 20 pages, and phase 2 limit up to 40 pages. And then after that, you follow the volume 2 cost, volume number 3 cost volume number 4 the commercialization report. Only what your revenue, how many phase 1, phase 2 you have in the past. It's okay when you don't have any phase 1, phase 2 at all. The important is technical volume, the content, technical volume, the technology that you propose. It's going to be a major factor for the evaluation. So we continue with the volume number 5. We have an instruction in there. So especially for direct phase 2, you should, in the volume 2, you should have the data or the feasibility documentation that show that the phase 1 for this direct phase 2 has been studied. So of course the money again is not from SBIR, because if it's phase 1 came from the SBIR, it would have a chance to go to phase 2 proposal. So that's the idea behind why not the non-SBIR fund for the phase 1 study. So volume 6, we concerned about the SDOD concerned about fraud, waste, and abuse issues. So that's why we require DOD require training certificates for those. And then, like I just give you the side note story, like people just change the little detail in their proposal, technical volume, to submit to different topics. So that's a true story. So that's why at the government agency, typically at the DMEA, we very evaluate proposal evaluation. We have the procedure to evaluate proposal carefully and methodologies, and also it's not only TPOX. We also have the IRT, the technical review members to review the proposal evaluation as well. And after that, we go to SBL office, and then the next level is going to be get review and approved by directors. So the volume number 7, that's the disclosure for the foreign affiliations or any relationships with the foreign countries. So that's also, it's very important too, because lately DoD start out with the due diligence process review for every SBC that submit a proposal to get the funded. Next slide, please. So for the evaluation, the technical merits, that the first one we're going to have, and also the key personnel qualifications, who going to do the project, what the resume, what their knowledge, what their degrees, it should be disclosed in the proposal. And then the third one is commercialization plan. So the other agency, the percentage of this criteria for evaluation is different agency to agency. So generally, they have like equally like 30% or 1/3 for each point. So total there. So and then right there we have the extension up in 2022. DoD agency must perform the risk-based due diligence review, as I mentioned in previous slide, to assess the security risks that related to the foreign country, ownership, control, and influence. Had anything to do with the small business seeking, the funding, the government funding. So that will be a part of evaluation. Next slide, please. So the selections, this is like statutory day. That's requirement for the government or the component agency have to inform the proposals that when their proposal gets selected. So within 90 days, when the proposal made it, they're gonna get the notification that their proposal is selected or not. So after that, so it's going to have another 90 days for the selected proposal to award the funding. So the total from submission proposal to the award, the total 180 days. Next slide, please. So there's our information, Kristen and I information in there with the DMA SBL websites. Any slide. Next slide. Yeah. So that's all I have. So please have a question for me or for Kristen.
Right. So we'd love to transition to Q&A here. You have the experts in the space. So if you have any particular questions around the topics or the process. So, hey, Carolyn, go ahead. And you're on mute. There you are.
Sorry, quick question on I know you said the DMEA usually has an open topic once per year. Is there a phase 1 open topic for 25.4D?
I can take
We
that.
have, I can answer that question. So we have the 24.4, not D is number 4. It's an open topic. So it's been this phase 1 proposal has been submitted and be evaluated. So it's in the process of proposal selection.
Yeah, and just to add to that, we do one a year. So the one he's referring to is actually last year's, but it comes out, it releases in the next year. I'm kind of crazy. So we're always kind of 1 year behind. So we haven't decided when we're going to release our open topic this fiscal year. So if you're familiar with the federal fiscal year, it began October 1st for FY25 and ends September 30th next year. So just keep monitoring that DoD website, the DSIP portal, to see when we post our open topic.
Okay, so the 24.4 is too late for that one.
It's too late. Yep, we're just
Okay, got
wrapping up evaluations,
Got
or
it.
actually wrapping up selection.
Got it. Thank you.
So we probably have we definitely have the 25.4 comment release around in June or July timeframe for next year, 2025.
Got it.
Yeah, and just something to add for all agents, all DoD, they've changed their schedule so that every Wednesday there's a new, or is it the first Wednesday of the month, Tien? Not every Wednesday. The first Wednesday of the month, I hope that's the first Wednesday, they
Yeah,
release
the first Wednesdays of every month.
of every month. The first Wednesday of every month will be a new BAA release for all the different agencies who want to participate. We just haven't decided which release we're going to put our open topic out in yet.
Got it. Thank you so much.
All right. Jyoti, do you have a question? It looks like you came off of mute.
No, I don't have a question. I just want to
All right.
thank, this is very informative. Really appreciate you sharing.
Very good. Yeah, happy to. Is there any other questions you all have? If not, going once, going twice. All right, well, we are sold to silence, and just want to say, Carolyn, did you have a question? I saw you just come off of mute.
No, I was going to be
Okay.
ready to say thank you.
Okay, very good. Well, I keep my eyes peeled for any,
you.
Hey, see, we're here. So any of you have been experienced with SBIR, STTR program?
What was the question? Sorry?
Well, any of you as a SBC have any project with the SBIR
Yes.
and STTR
Yeah,
program?
we did a
really?
we did a
Cool.
phase 1 open topic with the Air Force working,
nice.
and we're approved for a phase 2 out of San Antonio, the training lab down there. But
Okay.
the funding got cut, and so we didn't end up getting the phase 2, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. Because last year we released open topic at deposits the silicon carbide thick layer. So we need the technology to monitor the defects. So we have the machine, right? So we need to solve some kind of software to monitor the deposition process institute, and then try to figure it out to reduce the defects. Because one of the witness of the thick silicon carbide is the defects calculated under control. So we need the technology, so how to handle that, to monitor and reduce the defects during the epi techniques, the silicon carbide deposition.
Fascinating.
Good. All right.
I just want to
Well-
add, this is Kristen. If anybody has any follow-on questions, you think of something, after we get done with the workshop, any questions about doing business as a small business with DMEA or our SBIR program, you have our contact information on that previous slide. Please feel free to reach out to either Tien or me, and we will respond as soon as we can.
Perfect.
Hey,
Love it.
Carolyn, we love SBC and also the university research institution here locally here. It's around Sacramento area, as well as greater Sacramento area in California. To go to the DMEA website and submit proposal. So, I mean, one of my passions for this job is, hey, put the tax money payer back to the good use.
Very good.
We love that. Awesome. Well,
All
I
right.
will wrap us up here. So one, thank you, Kristen and Tien, for running us through the information session there. We will be following up with the recording as well as these slides. I did throw in the chat that next week, Benjamin will be here in the Carlson Center in person. We'll be diving into the SBIR program. I don't know if I did it any justice for the DoD way of saying it or the SBIR. But we'll be diving into how you can unlock that resource and just also accessing advocacy chiefs as a partner in that process. So I'd love for you to join us 2:30 to 3:30 at the Carlson Center, and that's going to be in celebration of Global Entrepreneurship Week. So we'd love for you to join us. We have a whole host of events coming on that week, but we will be following up with these resources, and yeah, we look forward to you plugging in. And I think Benjamin also shared a link to access his calendar if you're interested in learning more about how advocacy chiefs can support you in the process. So with that, thank you again for attending. Thank you all for the partnership, and look forward to seeing you about the ecosystem. So thank you all, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, Kevin.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you all.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Kevin, and everybody else.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Everyone.